What's up, YouTube? Thanks for tuning in. This is going to be an SEC championship preview and prediction. I'm going to give you my pick at the end of it. Right now, I got the TCU Kansas State game on. This is a great game. I was expecting TCU, especially with Adrian Hernandez out and Howard having to come in and play, that TCU might be able to run away with this, especially after the first drive. But uh, Kansas State's competing. Kansas State goes into the locker room up 14-10. They forced a fumble late in the first half. Had two opportunities to score and make it 21 or at least 17. TCU got the ball back and came down and scored, and it's 14-10 at halftime. But I'm gonna get into this preview with you. I got some notes written down for you. Let's see. So it's going in Atlanta. This is basically a home game for Georgia. Georgia has historically played very well in Atlanta. They already got one game in Atlanta this year against Oregon, which they won 49-3. Just absolute domination from the first snap of the ball. Bo Nix did improve over the season, and Oregon looks like a legitimate contender, but that is no more, especially with not making the Pac-12 championship last night. But that's neither here nor there. So Georgia's coming into this game ranked number 1. LSU's number 14. Georgia's undefeated and 8-0 in the SEC. LSU at 9-3, 6-2 in the SEC. They had their first loss of the season came against Florida State in a thriller in New Orleans. If you remember, Florida State blocked an extra point at the end of the game to win it. Got absolutely destroyed by Tennessee, 40-13 in Baton Rouge back on October 8th. Beat Alabama, which was huge, and then lost to Texas A&M badly in Kyle Field the last week of the season. So the ESPN FPI has this game at Georgia's got an 83% chance of winning. I would probably put that at more like 95%. I don't really see much of a way LSU wins this game. They have had some really good quarterback play from Jaden Daniels this year. They've got some great receivers. Their receiving core is stacked. He just hasn't really been able to get them the ball consistently. And a little stat breakdown of the game. Georgia has outscored LSU this season. Georgia's averaging 38.3 points a game and LSU only 32.5. And they're also allowing less points per game. Georgia only giving up 11.3 and LSU's giving up 21.5. And again, a lot of that came in the Tennessee game. Gave up 40 in Baton Rouge. But even in total yards and total yards given up, Georgia outgains LSU by 50 yards a game, 40 passing, 10 rushing, and then yards allowed per game. LSU's allowing 70 more yards a game, 12 passing, and about 80 rushing. So I think this is just going to come down to a defensive battle. That's the way Georgia's going to want to play it. You saw Georgia was able to shut down Tennessee's offense. They were able to shut down Oregon's offense. Georgia's probably going to get up a little bit early and then just take the air out of the ball. The thing about this is Georgia's a 17.5-point favorite. They have absolutely blown some teams out this year. I don't think that Georgia's going to play that style of football today. I think that Georgia's going to establish a lead and then work to maintain it. I definitely would, if you can get on the minus 900 money line, I would take Georgia on that for sure. I wouldn't touch the 17.5 points. I see no way that Georgia's going to let the game get to the point where they're just running up the score. I think they're just going to deflate the ball and keep it in there. And then the over-under at 51, I'm going to take the under on that. I think this is going to be a low-scoring, classic SEC affair. Like we haven't seen very much of in the last couple of years. But anyways, I got Georgia winning the game. I got Georgia not covering, and I'm going to take the under on that. Either way, Georgia's going to come out of this number 1 team in the country. They'll be choosing where they play in the college football playoffs, so they'll get to select where they play in the first round, and the choices are Atlanta and Phoenix. So they'll be playing in Atlanta for a third time. Later on tonight, we got the Big Ten Championship, Michigan and Michigan and Purdue. I can tell you how that's going to go. Michigan will be soundly number 2. And then lastly, we got the ACC Championship kicking off at the same time at 8 over in Charlotte. It's going to be Clemson and UNC. That's going to be a game to go to the Orange Bowl and potentially play Tennessee. I got Clemson winning that one, but I think it will be a good game. Drake May has played really well. My biggest question for that game is DJ going to come out and play, or is Dabo finally going to move on, and are we going to see some Cade Klubnik? I know a lot of the Clemson fans want a change from DJ, but we'll see tonight. I'll be streaming a little bit later. I got some shorts I might put out and get ready for this football. So take care, everybody. Go Vols.